Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Ayman Khan. It's good to be in the company again with the incomparable one and only James Ali Bashir to pick his mind on heavyweight boxing. James, how you doing, sir? How's your 2024?
I'm doing fine, and everything is going well. My health is good. My thoughts are correct, and I'm still in the gym. I live in the gym.
So
Somewhere in the world, I'm always in a boxing gym.
we can always count on that, James. And you've got fighters under your belt who you're training with. Talk to me about them. Talk about their prospects this year.
Well, I've got number one. I've got Vladislav Sarenko out of Kiev, Ukraine. He's 19-0, 16 KOs. He had a mild injury, which required some surgery some months back, but he's looking to get back into the action now. He's healed up. He's ready to go. And I've got also from Ukraine. He's 8-0 with six knockouts, and he's getting ready to get in the mix also.
Good to hear. Good to hear those fighters are going to be out very soon and in the mix in the boxing sphere. I want to pick your brains on a couple of things, James, which is why I've got you on here. First of all, you found yourself in the opposite corner of Daniel Dubois, having been working with him and his team heading into the Usyk fight for the fight with Jerel Miller. Just talk to me about that fight. Do you feel that Daniel grew in that fight with that victory over Jerel?
Repeat yourself, please.
Just saying that you found yourself in the opposite corner to Daniel Dubois having.
Yes, yes. Such is the nature of boxing.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Boxing is that kind of business. Well, business is business anyway. I mean, you might be in a court trial with one attorney. That attorney and you may not see things the same way, and if the attorney winds up in the opposing a team against you. So that's life. That's business. But Daniel Dubois is a young man that I really like, that I really appreciate. And Jerel Miller and I have a long history from the Vladimir Klitschko era, where Jerel was frequently in camp in Vladimir Klitschko's camp with us. So I knew Jerel over a long period of time. When he asked me to join him to box Daniel Dubois, I accepted his wishes, and I went in there and I did what I could do to win the fight. But Daniel Dubois bested him in the fight.
How do you feel Dubois overcame the threat of Jarrell? Because a lot of people were questioning Daniel's heart, and he had that adversity in those middle rounds, and it seemed like he grew in the fight to overcome the adversity where somebody questioned his will to do so.
Well, I think that Jerel hurt himself immensely because he came in at 338 pounds. And I knew if this fight got deep that Daniel Dubois would most likely overcome the early efforts of Jerel. And Jerel did himself no favors by coming in at 338. So when Daniel survived the initial attack from Jerel just didn't have the gas tank. He just didn't have the energy to stand there with a young phenom like Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a young fighter. He's only 20, 25, 26 years old. So, and he's fresh. He's fresh. And again, answering the question of where people questioning Daniel Dubois' heart, I don't think that we on the outside of the ring has the authority to question a fighter's heart. This hard. Just to last in boxing is for as long as he has, because he's in a very tough fight with Joe Joyce, you know, and he's with his own storms. So I don't think that anybody has the right to question a fighter's heart. Daniel Dubois is a legitimate fighter, a legitimate. I don't think anybody has the right to question the position of a fighter. I think Daniel Dubois has a great intensity. I think that he has great heart, because the outside person that's questioning the fighter's heart, they're not there in the training sessions to see what a young fighter goes through to get in preparation for these fights. Even with Anthony Joshua, people questioning his heart and questioning his chin. But I don't think anybody has the right to do that
Mm.
because they don't witness those brutal sparring sessions over the years that they go through just to prepare for a fight. So Daniel Dubois is no exception to the rule. Nobody has the right to question his heart. I think that he has great heart. I think that he's a legitimate top front running heavyweight, especially off the win off of Jerel Miller. That gave him a spark of life, you know, that boosted him up in his desire to fight, because in that fight, he overcame some adversity. And when he did that, that gave him a shot in the arm, so to speak. So I think that Daniel Dubois is in a great place now. I think that he'll go forward and do some big things.
I'm glad you mentioned Anthony Joshua because March 8th sees Anthony Joshua take on Francis Ngannou after Francis Ngannou put on a performance to shock a lot of people in dropping Tyson Fury. Didn't get the victory, but he did shock the world. Do you feel that Anthony Joshua is in tough against Francis Ngannou on March
No,
8th?
I don't think so. I don't think that Anthony Joshua is in tough with Ngannou. I think that Anthony Joshua stops Ngannou in 6 rounds because Anthony Joshua is coming in there for business. You know, he's a big, strong guy with good punching power and good boxing skills. I see him stopping Ngannou in that fight in 5 or 6 rounds. I think it was a smart thing for Eddie Hearn to make the fight between Joshua and Ngannou because that's his ticket to undisputed. If he when Joshua knocks out Ngannou, they're gonna ask for the winner of Usyk Usyk uh, Tyson Fury.
Mhm.
So that was a smart move on Eddie Hearns to put Joshua in with Ngannou. Joshua beats Ngannou, and he becomes the front runner to challenge the winner of Usyk Fury. Smart move. Smart move. That way, it clears the way where Joshua does not have to fight anybody to get that mandatory challenge.
First of all, what do you feel AJ will be able to do that Tyson Fury wasn't able to do against Ngannou?
I think that AJ will box more aggressively. I think that those body punches that he lands on Ngannou is not prepared for what he's going to see in AJ. AJ again, he's got new life. He's got new life off that last victory. It's amazing what one victory can do for the mentality of a fighter. Here's a fight between um, Ngannou versus Joshua. Um, this last fight between Big Baby versus this young man, and in doing so, both of them, he had a big win. Du Bois had a big win over a Big Baby, and AJ has a big win versus his opponent. And both of those wins did something for the confidence, for the mentality of each fighter. AJ, Du Bois. You understand? It may not mean much to the people outside the ring, but it does something to the fighters' eagerness and desire to box. And I think off of those wins, these guys are going to go places because they got a spark of life from those wins.
Mhm.
I don't think AJ is going to take any nonsense. I think that Fury was totally unprepared for Ngannou. I don't think Fury respected or expected, Ngannou to be as advanced in the ring as he was. But again, he's a MMA fighter, and Anthony Joshua is going to expose him and make him look like an MMA fighter. I see Joshua winning that fight inside of 5 rounds, no later than 6.
Were you surprised? Were you expecting Anthony Joshua to stay and sorry to stick with Derek James, or are you happy with the link up with Ben Davidson?
Well, I think too much emphasis is being put on trainers.
Mm.
Too much emphasis. I don't think that the trainer today is what the trainers were during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and perhaps even the 80s. So I think that too much emphasis is being put on the trainers. I think that it's just a frame of mind. You know, it's a frame of mind. I think that people put too much emphasis on trainers. That AJ is going to get better because Ben Davis is with him, or that AJ's former trainer, Derek James. You know, no, it's the fighters. Give the fighters the credit.
Mm.
It's the fighters. The fighters is the one that has to endure. They're the ones that got to get out there and box, and they're the ones that got to put it all together when crunch time comes. The trainer's going to step out the ring and he's going to mash a button and say, "This is what you got to do." But the fighter is the one that has to arrest himself. Arrest. When I say arrest, I mean arrest, just like and put himself in jail to focus on what he has to do, and then apply it in the ring. So let's give AJ credit. Let's give the boys. Let's give Big Baby credit. Let's give those guys credit because those are the guys that put it in. You know, a lot of times uh, when I was training with Latimer Klitschko, training with Lennox Lewis, I said things to them that they didn't like. They didn't like, they didn't make a big stink about it, but I said things to them which they didn't like. But they kept it between me and them, but they went out and did the job. They went out and did the job. That's what it boils down to. I think that AJ is the one that controls AJ. I think that AJ makes up his mind to go out and do it. I think that Daniel Dubois makes up his mind. I think that Jerel Miller makes up his mind. And every other fighter, don't put so much emphasis on the trainers. It's the trainers can invite something, to the boxer. They can add on. But in the final stages of whatever that has to be done, it's up to the boxer.
Appreciate that point of view, James. I appreciate your thorough answer there. And you're very much going to be a key opinion here in my next and final topic because of your relationship with Oleksandr Usyk, who's heading towards that undisputed title fight with Tyson Fury. Look, you knowing Usyk as well as you know Usyk, do you feel that he comes through with the victory in the undisputed crown against Tyson Fury?
He has a very good opportunity. But the Tyson Fury that we saw in the Ngannou fight will be a far cry from the one that we'll see in the Oleksandr Usyk fight.
Mm.
Because Tyson Fury will be totally prepared to be a big guy, 6'9" and 280, 290, whatever he's going to come in at. He's a good boxer. He's agile. He's slick. He's comfortable. And he knows what he's doing out there, I think that this is going to be a tough fight for both guys. Um, but I think that Oleksandr Usyk has a good chance to edge Tyson Fury in this fight. I think that Tyson Fury would do what he does. He'll put pressure on him. He'll lay on him. He'll maul him. He'll brawl him. And he has a good jab to be a good guy. To be a big guy, he has a really good jab. He knows how to work his weight, and he's agile. So it's a tough fight. But I can see Oleksandr Usyk winning a split decision, and I can see Tyson Fury winning a unanimous decision. It's a tough fight for both guys, but Oleksandr Usyk is not your run-of-the-mill fighter. No, he's a focused guy. He's a tough guy. He takes a good punch. He gives a good punch, and he knows what it is to be in a tough fight. He's going to be out there to win that fight because he knows what undisputed means. He knows what that means. And so does Tyson Fury. That's why I say it's a tough fight. This is more of a mental fight than it is a physical fight.
When you say this is a mental fight, that leads me on nicely because both these two fighters are seen by many as masters of the mind games. Fury can especially clown around, play the jokester, play the trickster, try and get his under fighter skin. But Usyk has also done things of that ilk, but in his own unique and different way. Do you feel that Fury can do anything to penetrate the mind of Usyk heading into the fight?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he can tamper with Oleksandr Usyk's mind. If anything, Oleksandr Usyk could tamper with Fury's mind. I think that Oleksandr Usyk is master of the mind games. I think that he's in this fight all the way. I just want to get me a bag of popcorn. I want to sit down and I want to watch, because there are different aspects that a boxing trainer and boxers, period, that can learn from this fight, you know, because you'll have to cover every base to even be in this fight. For each guy to be a lethal combatant in this fight, they'll have to really, really, really hone their skills to get this fight won. But I can see, like I said, I can see those guys jockeying for position because the guy that wins the first 4 rounds, the guy that takes over those first 4 rounds will be in a unique position because if you win those first 4 rounds, the last 8 rounds, it'll be to and from, Somebody else will win one, somebody else will win one. But the guy that wins those first 4 rounds will be sitting in a unique position to win the undisputed world championship. So yeah, I'm looking at those.
Just lost
I'm
you.
looking at
There you go.
you got me. You hear
Yeah, I
me?
got you.
Yeah, that we'll be looking at those first 4 rounds closely
Hmm.
because whoever wins those first 4 rounds most likely is going to win the fight, either by unanimous decision or split decision. So they're going to be jockeying for position in those first 4 rounds. I know if I was the trainer, I would be imploring my guy to take over the first 4 rounds, to dominate the first 4 rounds, because I know that in the last 8, when they're tiring, somebody can win one, somebody can win one, but the guy that wins those first 4 rounds is going to be sitting in a unique position, a territorial position to win the world championship.
James, a lot of people were making a lot of fuss about Fury in his position as a heavyweight at his peak, and saying that the Ngannou fight proved that he's on the slide now, that he's showing signs of decline. He's not the fighter that he was.
No, I think that's part of the. I think that's part of the psyche from Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a wise, crafty individual, and like I said, you can't base anything on the fight with Ngannou, you know, as opposed to the fight that he's going to have with Usyk, because you're going to see two different kind of fighters in the ring. You're going to see the best Tyson Fury probably ever, in order to win this fight versus Usyk. So I think that means nothing about the Ngannou fight. I think that Tyson Fury took Ngannou lightly. I don't think that he paid attention. I just think he took it lightly. But I don't think that we'll see the same Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. I just don't think so.
James, who has the better footwork of the two?
Usyk undoubtedly.
Hmm.
Usyk undoubtedly has the better footwork.
Mhm.
You know, I think that Usyk can even match him for hand speed. I think that we're going to see things from Oleksandr Usyk that not even Fury will be expecting. I know this guy. I was with him constantly for 3 years, and he's very good. He's a top of the line heavyweight fighter. He's very, 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 very good.
Mhm.
I just think there's some things that Usyk is not doing that he's capable of doing. But again, it depends on the mindset of the trainers, what they're telling him to do. Because Usyk is a guy that will do what you ask him to do. If you show him what to do, he'll do it. He'll try to do it. He'll try to learn it. But I think that he's in this fight. He's in this fight, and he's got a damn good chance of becoming undisputed champion. Tyson Fury is going to try to put his weight on him. He's going to try to engage him. He's going to try to lay on him, bend his backs over the ropes and this and that. But I don't think that Oleksandr Usyk will keep still long enough for that to happen. I think he knows that Fury is going to put his weight on him. He's going to try to lay on him, maul him, brawl him, and try to wear him down, take his skates away. His skates is his legs. You take away his skates, then the fight's over. But as long as he got those skates, it's very difficult to catch up to him.
James, it's been a pleasure speaking to you to discuss boxing.
Yes, anytime, anytime. Boxing is in a critical state because they got a lot of fly-by-night promoters. They got a lot of fly-by-night managers. Everybody is just in it for money, not for the love or passion of the game. Everybody needs money, but nobody just cares about the game. Nobody has any passion for the art of boxing. And I think that's what's hurting boxing itself, I'm in this thing, if I have a boxer and I feel like the boxer is not listening to me, despite the money, I love what I do. I love the game. I love the game of boxing, I think the beautiful fighters were Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis, Eddie Chambers. These Vlad Tsarenko. These guys Igor Pleveko. These guys are studious. And when I say studious, it's easy for me to get my points across to them about the logistics of boxing and what needs to be done in a particular fight, what needs to be done inside the ring. And I think that's what's hurting boxing, that everybody is jumping in for the money and they're skipping over the tutelage. They're skipping over the tutelage of the sport itself. I think that going forward, that boxing has a chance to come back, but there'll have to be more teaching. There'll have to be more input in the teaching department. And if you sit back and you observe what's being taught in boxing now, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. I tell a boxer what needs to be done. And if they can't do it, then they need to tell somebody, I can't do it. Could you help me? But the big thing now is boxers are too proud to say that they need help. They don't reach out for help. And therefore, they'll probably never get the help.